Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 65, Saturday sunny with a high near 79, and Sunday sunny with a high near 87. Since 1984, Cafe Latte has been serving up the freshest baked goods and modern comfort food in a cafeteria setting. Their menu is prepared with the best ingredients available. Cafe Latte is a leader in sustainable dining, composting their food and paper waste along with recycling everything they can. More at cafelatte.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Ghost Box Radio with Greg Bakun.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on Ghost Box Radio.
And it is Casual Friday here in Ghost Box Radio, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very, very much for joining us tonight. I hope that you had a good week getting back after the 4th of July holiday. And this is our first Casual Friday since, first one in July. Last one we did was June, right before Pride. So this is our first one back, and it's kind of it's always a lot of fun. And meanwhile, in Eden Prairie, we have Adam with us tonight. Adam, how are you doing?
Doing well. How are you, Mr. Bakun? So
far, so good. You know, we talked about the woes of grilling in the rain and all that sort of thing. But yeah, no, it's you know, it's pretty well. I mean, apart from the fact for my my work email that doesn't exist at the moment. So that's
yeah, that's how we fire people. We actually get rid of their email first, but since Boss Man wasn't in, I guess he couldn't finish the job. So hey, guess what, everybody, you're now listening to Ghost Box Radio with Adam.
Yeah, enjoy that. Tell me how that goes. Speaking of which, as of yesterday, July 10th is the 2-year anniversary of Ghost Box Radio going nightly, and that's longer than I expected. That's for sure. And in October 11th is the 5th anniversary of Ghost Box Radio being on AM 950. So lots of fun stuff. I mean, and that's honestly, you know, I every night doing the show, I am so grateful for the opportunity to do this. And by nature, I am a curmudgeon. By nature, I'm cantankerous. but that's kind of also an act. I mean, I'm very nostalgic, and I'm someone who, every time I do this, I always think to myself, there's always someone who probably could do it better, and there's always somebody who is always waiting to show you that they can do it better. And so the opportunity, I mean, you just heard it, Adam, just like he's like, let me do the show. And
I've done it once, and that was fine.
And I've still been meaning to talk to you about that one. And but the thing, the bottom line is, I'm so happy and blessed to be able to do it, and I'm glad that people are tuning in. We hear a lot of great feedback, and I mean, it's good feedback, and we also hear some other feedback as well, and all that stuff is great. We really do like that. We love hearing from people and whatnot. And I mean, my biggest fear when I started, when I remember it was right before we did that UFO Ghost Box After Dark. And like about 2 days before that aired, I'm in an office with Chad, and he just asked me, what would you think about going nightly with Ghost Box Radio? And my first thought was yes. My second thought is, how are we going to fill 5 nights a week? I'm not saying that it's not impossible, but that's a big ask. That's a lot of people to bring in, a lot of stuff to do. It scared me, not because I was not up to the challenge, but because you didn't want to like go into week 3 and you're already out of people to to do the show. And I remember just thinking to myself, who cares? Either you're going to do well, you're going to do all right, or you're going to fail. But either way, you can't not take this opportunity. And that's kind of where I ended up with. And I made sure that first month, all the rest of July was pretty much booked before I even got to July 10th, with Moon Girl being our first guest that night. A lot of fun. Really grateful for it.
The other thing I remember too, right before going live, the station was actually supposed to be closed for the 4th of July weekend. But you wanted to run on the board, so we came in on 4th of July weekend. I sat in the other studio. We had Shar joining via StreamYard, and you ran the board.
Yep.
For that last refresher before you going live. And I just remember going on before the show, you being very self-deprecating on yourself about how, you're going to mess this up and everything. You ran it perfectly. You basically only wanted me here to sit in the other room in case you screwed up, and I didn't even have to budge.
No, and that was the thing that scared me the most, was we can do the show, but we can't have Adam with, because just there's always budgetary stuff. It's just any station. I mean, we're not one of the big stations, Arbitron stations in the city. We are doing the best we can with the resources that we have, right? So they're just like, you gotta learn to use the board, which I hadn't done since my days at Brown Institute back in 93 and 92 and 93. And it was just like, okay, that's a lot. And I remember the first night, because yes, really the nightly show started July 9th in a sense, because that's when we did that dry run for the last of the Sunday shows. And then Monday I come in, I just remembered coming in by myself, and there's nobody in the station, no lights on, no nothing. And you're like, well, okay, here we go. I think I know what I'm doing. And the next day, Chad gave me a call, and he's just like, yeah, I just want to let you know that was really good. And he did what he didn't expect, which is I think one of the strongest parts of Ghost Box Radio, is he's like, I didn't expect you to interact with the audience so much through the comments. And I'm like, well, what else why wouldn't I do that? That's kind of the point of what we tried to build with this show, is that it's community driven. Everyone is able to take part. We love to hear from everybody. And he didn't really, it's not that he didn't expect it, but he's just like, you did that, you did the board, you did the show. It's like, that's pretty incredible. And I was like, I don't know if it's incredible. It's just something that, you just do. That's all it is. So
you inadvertently set the standard higher for board ops here during live programming by just doing what you normally do, by being both a host and a producer.
Yeah, it's something that, and quite frankly, I think every host should, not the weekend ones, but I think like the daily ones should have not necessarily do and take over, but see how it's done, because there's a fair amount to it. I mean, and you just really, it really is a good understanding of what people do, because I think, whether we mean to or not, I think a lot of hosts might just be like, okay, you're going to take care of that, you're going to take care of this, you're going to do that, and that's where it ends. But it's always nice to see that what does it take to post a podcast? What does it take to, when you're trying to like I'd love to have someone have a host sit in when you're doing a Refined Divine evening of one question readings, and they could see what that is like when you're trying to pivot between making sure the show is on the air, making sure the sound levels are right, making sure that someone isn't swearing,
Yeah.
but yet also answering the phone.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah. You really need the arms of Sheba sometimes to do a
Yeah.
live call-in show like it is every other Wednesday here.
Yeah.
But that being said, that every other Wednesday, especially when it's hot and Deb's got callers coming in left and
Yeah.
right, those are my favorite nights. My
Yeah.
absolute favorite ones.
It's always fun when we get folks calling in for the questions. It's also fun, like you can do so tonight if you have something you want to share. If you have like when we had that gentleman calling a couple weeks ago regarding his paranormal experiences at the library.
The officer, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's what Casual Friday is about, and so if there's something you want to share with us, 952-946-6205. You can also put it in the comments as well, and that's just always something that we really I love to hear, and I know you do too, Adam. You love to hear what the listeners, what paranormal is to them, what their experiences are, because it is, as we say in at the beginning of each show, this isn't our story, this is your story. This is everybody's experience, the shared experience. So, no, thank you all so much for continually listening to us and taking part and being supportive. Really do appreciate it. It's been a ride. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
And many more years to come, hopefully.
Hope so. I mean, oops, I just got a text from Chad. What does he have to say? No, I'm just kidding.
It's supposed to be my email that was shut down. Oh, damn.
Nope.
I'm gonna need another job.
Nope, just both of ours.
Oh, then I feel a little bit better.
Yeah. So this and that also want to say last night I did Char's event over at Divine Lights in Anoka, the paranormal investigation in the basement of the building, and that was a lot of fun. I think that she's going to try to do that monthly, and I'm helping her out with it. And I've been very blessed that she's asked me to help take part in it, because it's something that means a lot to me, and I just it showed I was a little stale on paranormal investigating, in a sense, because I didn't feel like I was quite where I wanted to be with that. But it also last night gave, I think, both of us a lot of ideas of like how we can continue to evolve these investigations, because folks, once again, when she does the next one, I'll make sure that everyone knows so that you could take part. This is in Anoka, the Halloween capital of the world. This is on Main Street, one of the most haunted areas in Minnesota. I think without a doubt, I think one of the other places would be St. Anthony, Maine, in one of the buildings in the basement. And once again, people always say to me, I'd love to investigate with you. This is your opportunity. And this is really, it was really cool last night. And we started to get a lot of great spirit box responses towards the end. And one of my favorites was something like, I think I said something like, we just need to, we're just going to keep coming back, and we're just going to keep doing it. I think that's what I said. Just keep doing it. And all of a sudden the spirit box says, just keep doing it. And nice. I was just like, wow, that's incredible.
So when that came through, it's like, just keep doing it. In your opinion, does that mean they're going to be even more forthcoming the more times that you and Shar are down there with different groups? Because you're at least going to have you and Shar down there. They're going to recognize you.
I think so. I think that there's a good opportunity for that to happen, a good possibility. And I that's the great part about it is, I always say, and I've always said this, that paranormal investigating, whatever you use, if you're using mediumship or whatever else, it's like a muscle. And if you're not using it, you get a little, you get a little out of practice with it, a little rusty. But once you start doing it more and more, and that's kind of my thought when I started doing this all these years ago, and I'd go with friends, and they worked at the St. Anthony, Maine Real Ghost Tours, and every Saturday I would go out there with my spirit box, and we would just blow people away with their mediumship, my spirit box work. We had another person who worked there, Katie, her spirit box work. It was just like I think people got more than what they paid for, because they truly got an immersive haunted experience out there. And it was really, really cool. So loved it. Just loved it. Those were the days, Adam.
All right. Do I need to pull up a piano and those were the days?
Yep, you do. You do. Courtney says, it's nice to have you guys. Well, that's very nice. That's
Thank you, Courtney.
kind of you to say. Appreciate it very much. So yeah, I mean, that's like I said, we'll let people know when we're doing the next one. And I will make sure that it's much more advertised on here, because it's a great opportunity, and we got a lot of good stuff, I think, coming up. We have a couple more events coming up that I need to talk about here. And then also, we're already trying to figure out what Halloween will look like for the show. It's on a Friday, so that's going to be fun. And then, we just have some more events and stuff that we want to do. So plenty of opportunities for you out there if you want to take part in any kind of paranormal investigation. We had somebody with us last night who is just like, you know what? I'm just out here because I just want to see what it's about. I want to see how people do it. I want to see how it works. And that was really cool. I love that. You don't have to be an investigator to go out and do it. You can just take part, watch, join in when you feel like that it's time for you to join in, or maybe the first time go and just see and watch, and then the next time you start doing a little bit more. Every time you go, you just do a little bit more. We really want this to be where the people who come out to the events, and this is how I handle all my events too. I'd much rather have it where you all are doing the investigation. We'll start you off, but this is meant for the folks who take part in the events to be able to learn and be able to have that experience of talking with spirit, because as you know, Adam, it's one of the greatest things ever, quite honestly.
It is. It's one of the neatest feelings. Just, not only when you're there, but when you go and review your own evidence, and all of a sudden there's a voice in your recorder or something like that wasn't in the room and you didn't hear. There's just that. I really don't know how to explain that feeling, but I was probably one of the giddier moments I ever get is when, oh, hey, we caught something.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like you said, knowing that you didn't have anything before. Like, I mean, when I say anything, like when you recorded it, there wasn't that voice.
Yeah.
That's truly what it comes down to. And that spirit box thing I said that happened last night. I've been doing this for, well over 15 years. And I'm still super excited. It's still just something that I just keep thinking about. And I absolutely love it. We're going to head off to break here, but I want to quickly just let people know, question of the week. We want to tackle that when we get back. Question of the week is, do you believe you have a spirit animal? And if so, what is it? I'd love to know your thoughts on it. We got some comments earlier in the day that I'm going to read, but if there's something on your mind, put it in the comments. You're always welcome to give us a call, 952-946-6205. Really, we could talk about anything tonight. It is Casual Friday here on Ghostbox Radio. Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
Madison Comic and Pop Culture Expo comes to the Alliant Energy Center August 9th and 10th. Madison Comic and Pop Culture Expo is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall, and artist alley for all the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&As, and even more. Madison Comic and Pop Culture Expo, also known as MadX, is going to be huge, with guests like Walter Jones from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, legendary wrestler Sting, plus other great guests from voice actors, authors, and artists all over the entire weekend. 2 days of action-packed fun at the Alliant Energy Center. Tickets start at $53. Kids tickets are just $9.99 for the entire weekend. Don't wait to get your tickets. Buy your tickets and get more information at MadisonComicExpo.com. MadX is Wisconsin's biggest Comic-Con, and don't forget Twin Cities Con is coming up in November. New guests are being announced all the time. Go to TwinCitiesCon.com for more information.
Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on Ghostbox Radio.
We pay you to do one thing correctly, Adam, and it's just not working, is it? I mean, maybe we need to shut off your email. I don't know.
Maybe we do too, or maybe our Simeon can fire when I hit the space bar. Damn it!
So I knew that just saying that was just going to rile him, because I knew that the commercial's not firing had nothing to do with Adam. And I also did see your private chat as well. But the best part is when nothing's happening, I could see you on camera, and I'm just seeing you like hunched over the other computer. Trying to get it to work.
Like, come on, you're supposed to work.
And it's like, oh, and because obviously too, I've been there doing the show as well. And doesn't it feel like the entire world is watching you at that moment?
That 2-3 seconds where it's not firing feels like 5 minutes.
Doesn't it?
Really
I mean, it truly is like it feels like that maybe no one's paying attention during the show, but that moment that happens, it feels like you're like on like Carnegie Hall or something on stage. And yeah, no, it's unfortunate. And you know, when you have equipment that dates back to the time of Christ, you know, sometimes stuff just isn't going to work quite as well as it should, I guess. I don't know.
Like I was joking with Brett in here the other day. It's like these computers are so old, they're about to get their learner's permits.
Well, you know what? How about I do this for you? How about I shoot off an email? Oh, I can't.
Oh,
never mind. So there we go. We'll get one of the snakes to do it for you. How about that?
Yeah, Percy can come in and do that.
It is, as you could tell, I hope you can tell, it's Casual Friday here on Ghostbox Radio. You know, we obviously love talking paranormal, but sometimes Friday is a great way to just kind of ease into the weekend. And we wanted to, sometimes, you know, that's all we like to do. We'll talk about grilling, we'll talk about whatever, but you are more than welcome to share whatever's on your mind as well, as long as it's not politics. You can call in 952-946-6205. Or you can put it in the comments. We have people in the comments saying hello. Christine saying hello, and Courtney has said hello. And thank you very much for watching, especially as, you know, I was thinking about this earlier today when I was running to the bank. And I thought, you know, I wonder if there's anyone who's listening to us. This was, you know, back when I think it's still a very nice night. I think with the rain came through and stuff, like listening to us like on a patio or something, have maybe a couple adult beverages or something and just have us on. That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
It'd be the great lead in to if you're out camping or about to, do something like that, lead into the campfire ghost stories.
Well, that's just it. People need to send us a note if they're going to be like on a Friday, they're going to be out camping and they're going to be, well, I mean, then you can't cut our station. I mean, we really can. But we'll tailor it so that we could tell some Bigfoot stories that don't end well for people, and we can just get you going that way. That's one way of doing it. Question of the week. Should we do some question of the week?
Yes.
Question of the week this week, talking about Bigfoot. Do you believe you have a spirit animal? And if so, what is it? I think it's a very interesting question. And I thought the answers, as always, were very interesting. And a lot of times, what I love about this is like some of these answers are just like, to me, they're like, I didn't think about that. And that's what I love about it. And some of them today on their Facebook feed, I actually followed up with them to get a little bit more of an idea of where they're coming from, because they were so interesting. Adam, you put yours in. Tell us yours.
Honestly, I think it's dogs, and not just because I always keep treats. And I think every dog, no matter where it is, always seems to come up to me.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm going to guess, then my spirit animal would be a dog, because I don't really know a whole lot about the spirit animals, how that's defined or anything like that. But if it's just the animals that tend to interact with you randomly, mine is definitely a dog.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I mean, I think there's a lot of ways people look at it as far as spirit animals and whatnot. Over on Facebook, and once again, the question is, do you believe you have a spirit animal? And if so, what is it? Jolene says a wolf. Shar, she had an interesting answer, which I totally understand. I didn't really think about that. And this is what I love about, people who, are dealing with this stuff often. She says that they change depending on what I'm going through. Each one has its own energy and how they can help or give a message that resonates with you at that time. I thought, God, that's very smart. And I bet it, would for many people. Cynthia adds on to that. She says, I feel the same way. They determine when they can guide me, but then she adds eagles when traveling, wolf when creating, crows to watch over me spiritually. That's kind of cool, isn't it? I love that. I absolutely love that. Once again, folks, the question is, and if you have one, call us 952-946-6205. Do you believe you have a spirit animal? And if so, what is it? Lene, she says, and she's serious about this, and I get where she's coming from here. Okay, stay with us. Grumpy Cat. Grumpy Cat is mine. She sustained me through so much in my life, and when she crossed the bridge, it was like losing one of my own. I'm gonna admit, and that was about 10, 12 years ago, that Grumpy Cat was like, Grumpy Cat's memes were all over the place, and everything is like, I hate it, and all, and it just and like I said earlier, I'm cantankerous. I'm a bit of a curmudgeon. And stuff like that, people look at that, I'm sure, and they're just like, oh, that's so rude and this and that. It's like, it's also a nice release for people like us who get sick and tired of certain BS.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun to see that someone is creating something and that it resonates with us, and it makes it so we don't act out on it, quite frankly. And that's what I always thought Grumpy Cat was. And honestly, and this sounds silly, but when Grumpy Cat died, I just I can't believe it. I can't believe this animal had died. If you ever seen like Grumpy Cat completely, you could tell that she was born with some kind of a disability, I think, and I think that contributed probably to a shorter life. They would take her around the country and people could meet her. Luckily I never got to that level. That's a little bit too much for me, but you could see that she'd just be docile, and I'm hoping that's because she wasn't drugged, that in fact she's just a very, I mean, you never know, right?
Yeah.
But that she's just a very, you know, docile little kitty cat. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, may the memes continue. That's what I always say. Once again, do you have a spirit animal? And so, what is it? Lori Jean says, yes, my spirit animal at the moment is a snowy owl. It was a bear for many years before it changed. And I asked her, why did it change? And I'm not going to read the whole answer because that she gave, because I feel like that this is maybe a little bit more personal, even though she put it on the Facebook page. But she just said, I went through a spiritual life change. And I think that's why. When I became a little more open with my spirituality is when I felt the shift. And she goes into what it was like when it was a bear versus an owl. And she said, then after changing to snowy owl, we actually saw one of them fly right in front of us when we're driving to Winnipeg. So that's really cool.
That is really cool. And the snowy owl, I'm a big fan of nature photography, and those are probably my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Of any of the birds of prey or any bird in general or raptor, the snowy owl is probably my favorite one to see photographs of. It is just so neat.
It's interesting because when I did the art for tonight's show, and I wanted to have something as a spirit animal, my first thought was doing like an owl. And because to me, that is what I think of when I think of when a spirit animal. And I know it could be different, clearly it's different for everybody, but that's where my mind went through, some sort of sage animal that, just looks very stoic and very intelligent and knowledgeable, and might even look a little bit old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That, or, it's the Goblin King.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you remember Labyrinth.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. Absolutely. And like in Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
Winnie the Pooh. My God. Winnie the Pooh. Yes.
Yeah, the owl. Yeah.
Owl.
Yeah, I forgot all about him. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he have a British accent too or something?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And apparently the guy who voiced Winnie the Pooh also did a number of the famous radio addresses during World War II as well, because Winston Churchill was so messed up on cognac that he couldn't do the speeches. But the guy who voiced Winnie the Pooh did a perfect Churchill.
Sterling Holloway.
Yeah, thank you.
Sterling Holloway also in Alice in Wonderland played the Cheshire Cat. I remember I always every time I think of the Cheshire Cat, I used to take, when I worked in advertising, I'd take the bus back from Minneapolis and to Maple Grove, and it took one that would get you through like the city streets of Maple Grove, like the neighborhood streets, and the bus driver is always has to read the name of the street when you're coming by. So if someone is unable to see or whatever, that there's a way for them to know what street's coming up. And there's a Cheshire Street in Maple Grove, and this poor driver every night, she's just like Chishishery. Almost like Sasquatch, is that? Yeah. Yeah, it was a Chishishery, through the speaker, like, what street is this? And you look like, oh, it's Cheshire. Okay. Oh, well. So
Well, made you grin like a Cheshire cat.
yeah. So let's see here. As far as spirit guides, do you have a animal that is a spirit guide for a spirit animal for you? Excuse me. I think I want to ask down the line, do you believe you have a spirit guide animal? But let's see here. Kim says, yes, mine is a bat. I also have connections to a jellyfish. Now, that might sound like, really, what's that all about? And I was schooled today, actually, as someone else, and I'm not going to say, because this is, it could be their own personal thing, and this isn't a private message. Talked about a soft shell crab showing up for healings, and you might be like, oh, what's that all about? And there's a whole reason for all of these. So and this is a great reminder for me, and I hope helps other people as well in the paranormal. just because it might sound absurd to us in some ways, it is absolutely not, you know. And I don't say that as schooling anyone listening. I actually am saying it for myself, excuse me, that is that's the whole purpose of it is, so many of us see things and put them and put different animals and creatures and whatever in certain orders, but the way that the universe works, it's all on the same plane, so
Yeah.
I mean, I know everyone else knows that, but for me sometimes it's like, oh yeah, a nice little reminder. Let's see here. Russ says, no, I have not encountered this in all of my years in the field. That said, I had some animals come around in a communicative way, but I would not call them my spirit animal. All right, that's fine. You don't need to. Bridget says, mine has always been an eagle, usually bald, but I also have crows, now rabbits, and a very grumpy bulldog. I believe they represent phases of my life and at least one past loved one. I'm sure there's others. These are the ones I'm aware of. Well, that's cool. I mean, I find very interesting, Adam, that everyone is very they're very sure of their animals. And you and I are like, well, you're like, I think it's mine's dog. And I would say I think mine are cats. But there's some people who are just like, because they're seeing them as well. They're getting that validation, which is really cool.
And with mine, it was based on just life experiences. It's like, what's been the one animal outside of the tiger cage I got into when I was a kid, but that's a story for another show. But it was very much dogs my entire life. And I wasn't even a dog guy growing up because I lived in a trailer park. We had cats. Mm-hmm. And I had one cat that was amazing. The rest of them, I mean, whatever. But all friends' houses growing up throughout, going to college, moving to different states, it's always been if somebody had a dog on the street, even, they would just come up to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I think it would be a dog.
I mean, and I think too, and we always say, what is your intuition saying, and you go with that. And I think that is very much the case. And I like that. I like that a lot. And, the same with cats too. I mean, for me, because it's like my whole life I've been around them and I identify with them and I love them. And like you with the dogs, I've always been lucky to have cats that want to, be close and I can communicate well with them. Mm-hmm. So I used to be called, friends used to call me the cat whisperer because I'd just come up and I'd see a random cat and it'd come up and just want to, they would, get on their back and they'd show me their belly and stuff. So yeah, crazy. Good stuff. I love it. Why don't we go ahead and do this? Let's go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, I'm going to read some more of question of the week. I am a little surprised that no one put who they think their spirit animal is in the comments. Normally we get people answering and there's people watching. I see that. We're shy tonight. I don't know. Maybe everyone's out on the patio having a couple of what my dad would call canoopers, and maybe that's their spirit animal for tonight. Jack Daniels. I don't know. But you're more than welcome to put something in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Let me know what's on your mind. It's Casual Friday. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Ghost Box Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information. Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Casual Friday. Casual Friday. Casual Friday on Ghostbox Radio.
All right, I'm taking a look at the weather for this weekend over at the AM 950 Weather Center. There's no such thing. Anyway, tomorrow is going to be 76 degrees. And I'm thinking to myself, as we're listening to the trolley commercial there for Minneapolis Trolley Tours, it's a perfect day to go and get that trolley ride, learn a little bit of kind of the spooky Minneapolis history, which they do really, really well. And then check out the grounds of the 300 Clifton. Honestly, it's worth your time. Go out there and do so. And at 76, you know what they're going to do? They're going to have the windows open on that trolley as they're going through the streets, the breeze going through there. I might even do that tomorrow. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. I'm all about that.
And if you do go, anyone out there, that house is gorgeous.
Yeah,
it is beautiful. Not to mention haunted. You can take haunted out of the equation.
Yeah.
That house is gorgeous.
There is a lot of history in that house that they talk about, because they will do a tour in there. I believe it's part of the trolley tours. And they had tracked down a number of items that belong in the house, and that they have tracked it back down, put it back into the house, restored rooms to how they looked back in the day. It's just spotless. It's beautiful, and there's so much story, so much history to it that it's a lot of fun. And I know I keep pressing people. You got to go out there. You got to go out there. You know, it's certainly not going to be Sunday. Looks like we're back to 85. That's when you go to the trolley tours for like the true crime tours. You go just every day. But to go out there tomorrow, it's going to be a perfect weather to go out there and really take part in all that. That's I love it. It's really great.
And John and Norman do such a wonderful job. The tours are such a blast.
They really are. They are very good, very enjoyable, and you definitely need to check it out for sure. And please do us a solid and let them know that if you go out there that you heard about it through Ghostbox Radio, because we just want to show that our listeners support our partners, because John and Norman have been nothing but amazing to us. And I just love talking to them, and I love their enthusiasm for what they do, and they have an enthusiasm for Ghostbox Radio, and that's means the world to us. So please, if you go out there, anytime you go out there, just let them know that that you heard that we're loving them on Ghostbox Radio. Really, that's all I ask for. So yeah, that's how that goes, Adam.
That's how that rolls.
That's how that happens. Yep,
it rolls
absolutely.
down the street like a trolley.
Literally, and much more fun than the one that Mr. Rogers had to the neighborhood of make believe. So,
absolutely.
And we
can spook you out.
I mean, because that was just the terrors of his mind that we were seeing there. This is real spirit. So yeah, this is this is a little bit more tangible. Join us next week on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun. Monday, it's going to be a Just Greg episode. We're going to be talking about aging. And there's some stuff that I've come to since I've turned 50 that about my own mortality. And I want to talk about that, but I also want to talk about that in terms of paranormal and how spirits look at that, and talk about time, talk about all this stuff. I think it's going to be a very interesting when I say discussion, conversation. I'm hoping that people join in and share their thoughts on it as well. Tuesday, we're going to have Refined Divine Deb on. She's going to be giving us some experiences. I don't know exactly what she's going to be talking about yet. Wednesday, a favorite is returning. We're going to have Moon Girl, mistress of the paranormal. She's going to be joining us on Wednesday. We're going to be talking numerology, Adam.
Okay, I didn't know if we were coming back to talk about all the things that she had predicted correctly at the very beginning of the year, because I think she's got a perfect score so far from that episode in January.
Especially when it's come to the plains.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
That Ohio having
Ohio
disasters, and she was on the money for everything.
She really was, and we might touch on that. She definitely thought about talking about numerology, and whenever she wants to just talk, I just like to listen. She's one of my favorite people, and she really knows her stuff, and she is just a good person. And so we're gonna have her on Wednesday, and then Thursday our replay is going to be Paul Blake Smith. We played this before, but a lot of people love this. It's the Nixon Gleason alien encounter, and it's a fantastic episode. You haven't read the book, you got to get the book. And then of course we end up with Casual Friday, so lots of great things coming up. And so please tune in, and don't forget, folks, if you missed an episode of Ghost Box Radio, number one, how dare you? But secondly, we forgive. We're very forgiving in that regard. Go to Spotify. We're on Spotify. Our episodes are on there. Go to YouTube. You can go to MN Ghostbox Official. Go and subscribe to the channel. And all of our episodes are there. My web series is there. Spirit Box sessions are there. It's a lot of fun. You can go to ghostboxradio.com. All sorts of good stuff there, including Ghostbox Book Club, where you can order all these books that we are talking about, and using the Amazon affiliated link, it helps the show out as well. So yeah, got that spiel out of the way. That's always good.
Don't forget to hit up the Patreon.
Don't forget to hit up the Patreon. We're adding more episodes there all the time as well. Patreon.com/Ghostbox Radio. It helps us with a lot of things, including equipment and whatnot. Love AM 950, but we are in a lot of ways on our own in the show. So it's that money that we make off that, the support, actually goes back into the show. So consider doing so. Starts as low as $3 a month. We have a lot of great people who have supported us, and I just want to say thank you to all of them, because they've been very good to us as well. I think the theme tonight, Adam, with everything we've been talking about, is one of gratitude. Quite honestly, it's been. I mean, when I think back over the last 2 years, where I was and where we were, just around July 10th of 2023, when all this was starting, very optimistic and hoping that that we make some sort of impact. And 2 years on, I really think we have, and I think we've done some good work. I love what we've done.
I think it's been a fantastic ride for this 2 years, and from all the different guests we've had to all the different, just conversations between not only the listeners, but authors, paranormal experiencers, UFO abductees, UFO experts. It's just become such a well-rounded show that, unlike other podcast radio shows you listen to about the paranormal, and I'm not just saying it because I work with Greg and I work on this show, but this is the only one that isn't didactic in any way.
Right. I mean, we just try to bring people on, and we always call it the safe space, and that we allow people to tell their stories. And I tell people too. I tell guests, and we've had to do this with actually one of the big shows that we had. That if I don't believe in what they're saying, I'm not going to bother having them on. I'm not here to like jump on them and surprise them by, asking them questions that's going to make them, squirm or anything. I mean, I love all of this. I love spirit communication and the fact that, I do believe aliens are out there. I do believe that there's cryptids. I believe all this stuff. So when I bring someone on, it's because I believe that these people can help all of us learn and help all of us move the ideas and the stories forward a little bit, or have a different opinion than mine, but I still respect their opinion and I want to hear it. So, we want to bring on people because we respect them and we can't wait to hear what they have to say. It's as simple as that. So, I mean, it's good.
It's absolutely fantastic how the show has turned out, and the folks that we have interacting with us all the time, whether it be on the show, out of the show, when you go to the paranormal conventions, when we go to the Comic-Cons. That to me is one of the best parts, is the Comic-Con crowds.
Yeah.
Those folks, because they're really in three categories. You have the believers, you have the non-believers, and you have those who have never given any thought to it.
Mm-hmm.
One of each will at least come up to that table every 5 minutes.
Yep. Yeah.
And what gets me, my favorite ones though, are the ones is like, I don't believe in any of this stuff. Well, that's cool. We do. We tell them what the show's about, and then to every single one of them, every one of them is always like, there was that one time when dot dot dot, and it's just like everybody has had some sort of experience they cannot explain. For it to all be, lumped into one thing, for people to be like, well, I do believe this or I don't believe this. No, there is a lot of gray area. Just be open.
Yeah, absolutely. Question of the week. Do you believe you have a spirit animal? And if so, what is it? Nicole in the comments says crow. I have a few that hang out of my house. When they fly over, I can hear the sound of their wings and I find it very calming. I also love when they're talking. I named one Cheryl. So there you go. So that's cool. Let's see here. Linda Judd says that she would like to suggest author Liz Newman as your animal spirit. No, I will look into Liz Newman. I think did you send me a note on that, Linda? I know you sent a note. I haven't really looked at it. I apologize. Carrie says my spirit animal is Mr. Bill, because no matter how many times he gets decapitated or limbs and arms cut off by Mr. Sluggo, he always gets put back together for another go at it. Isn't that a life lesson?
That is something I haven't heard in forever. Mr. Bill.
Oh no.
Oh, I haven't heard that since I was a kid. Thank you for bringing that up. What's the term? Core memory unlocked?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, right?
Wow. Thank you so very much for that.
And what they did to what they kept doing to Mr. Bill, it was actually kind of hard for me to watch as a kid, because it was like, gosh, I know it's just like putty, but my gosh, you're like just smearing his face off of his head. What the hell? I mean, it's just so graphic.
It was. That's some of the stuff I miss 80s kids TV programming for.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely, I mean, you can't do that anymore. I don't think anyone can. I don't think you can make that. I think the closest you get is something like Itchy and Scratchy, because they're still like blowing each other up. But the whole point is that's the point of Itchy and Scratchy. It's a take on animation like Tom and Jerry and stuff like that, or Looney Tunes. Mr. Bill, though, is just this happy-go-lucky guy who nothing went his way. And Carrie, that's sage advice. Honestly, that's good stuff. I'm gonna be very honest about that. I enjoyed that very much. I think that's great. Let's see. I think I had one more that I wanted to read here real fast. And Deb says we have many currently right now. Mine is an elephant. So yeah, that's some of those I need to look up and see what the translation is for these animals as spirit animals are. You know what I mean? So what does that mean to each person for the spirit animal that they claim? That's I don't, because I don't know all of those. To be
Yeah,
perfectly honest.
that would be a cool dive to go down.
Yeah, very much so. And just look for that and see what else. And as we're getting to the end of the show, I mean, it's there's just a lot of good stuff coming up, and I'm excited because, like we had been talking in the first segment, we got a lot of stuff planned out. Hopefully, we can start talking more about stuff. And once again, talking about Minneapolis trolley tours, they're not moving into their new facility quite yet, their new location. But they're okay with us teasing it that there is a beautiful mansion that they're moving into, and that it's going to be soon the center of their trolley tours. The interior is much older than the exterior. Let's just start with that. We'll talk more about that as time goes on, but we are going to do a paranormal investigation there. I think hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll check in with John and Norman and see what we can do there. But they are very much open to it, and this place is honestly going to knock your socks off. So Adam, that's something for all of us to look forward to here sooner than later.
I can't wait because I know what the location is.
Yes, you do. So we got that. Linda says, I have a spirit butterfly as a guide. I'm happy to hear that. That sounds beautiful. We are ending up the show here. Everyone, as always, please be careful over the weekend. Be safe. Take a trolley tour. That's all I'm going to say. Enjoy that. Enjoy the weather. Join me on Monday. I'll be back. We'll be talking about aging as well as time in the paranormal. We have a full week ahead of us. It's going to be great. Everyone, thank you. Thank you for the past 2 years. We'll see you Monday.
Come see the trained chimp. It's the Matt McNeil Show, 3 to 5.